Hello.
Yo,
How you doing, Elijah?
what's up, man?
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
All right, hold on one second. I left my coffee just right over here.
Yeah.
It'll be shitty.
There we
It'll be yeah, useless interview without this.
yeah, it's early. You're going up early, eh?
This whole year I've just been, I don't know, just been stressed or what, but yeah, I've been waking up like on the dot so early every morning this year. This is kind of like sleeping in for me.
Right, yeah. Good, man. Well, hey, first off, congratulations on an amazing video and part.
Thanks.
It was a real treat to watch. I When something really good comes out in skateboarding that I really like a lot, those are like the only things that I show to my wife and my son who's 10, who's like not super into skateboarding.
Yeah.
And so it's typically like Mark Gonzalez type things, like different things, and I showed them your guys' video. So
Yeah, it's always pretty interesting showing people that don't really know the kind of the difficulty of everything, and they're kind of just like, yeah, cool.
yeah,
Like,
and it can be a barrage of tricks at once. That's hard to take for a
yeah,
non-skater.
I mean, yeah, like if you, I'll show like my girlfriend's parents or something, and they'll be like, awesome, and I'm like, damn, I just like kind of died for that. I was like expecting a little bit more of an uproar of,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, no, good for you, good for you. Um, so
Are you in
I'm in
Montreal?
Vancouver.
Oh, Vancouver.
Yeah. Um, so I just have a couple questions to start, and then I just have some screenshots from the video to just maybe talk about some specific parts, if that's okay.
Okay, cool.
And I'll just share my screen with you. That
I
should
haven't,
work.
I haven't said many words yet today, so might take
We
a
ease into it.
yeah.
But so did you tell me how this got started? Did you come right out of doing No Other Way right into this? Was there a plan from the start?
No. I'm gonna tell you when no other way. What was that?
That
Four.
came out like late 2016.
Okay, yeah, so like 4 years ago. And then definitely did not go into that. I'd say everything for this video was filmed within the last year. Because we kind of had an idea to start the project around uh, the time that my shoe was coming out. So that was originally kind of the plan. And then we had the commercial lined up for the shoe too, and that didn't really go very well either. And then that kind of just threw me off after that. So we were kind of just we had an idea for a video, but we were not off to a good start. Like the ball was not rolling, like just for me personally, I wasn't really skating as good as I'd like to be, and I had some weird mental block going on because I wasn't skating good, and then so I would say we really started to kick into gear here and start to get stuff done for the video at the beginning of this year.
Okay.
It was right before COVID happened. We actually made it on one or two trips this year. I think in like January we were in Portugal, and then we went to Sacramento, and and that's kind of when things started to kick into gear here a little bit, and we were like, okay, we kind of have something to start working with. And then ever since then, it's just been kind of like, if you notice, like in Gilbert's part, it's mainly Virginia, and then my part is mainly LA, which is kind of cool because usually for a video part, it's all over the place. You have footage in like out of the country, other states in the US, and it's just like uh, cool to see someone film like kind of a video part from where they live and where they're from, and kind of just work with what they got, and not be able to travel and go to all these spots. It's kind of just like all right, here's your situation. See what you can do
Yeah,
with it.
yeah. Was that having done like you've had a good amount of parts in the last number of years? Was it a lot different, just mostly filming at home, and especially during
No,
the
I
last
like.
year of lockdowns, COVID? What was that
Yeah.
like?
No, I liked it. I love LA, and I love the way the city looks, and I love clips filmed in LA. And I think people kind of realize how it's like not not as easy to film here in LA just because of the I don't know why really, but maybe just because the significant amount of skateboarders that do live here.
Hmm.
So, like, if something's skatable or somewhat skatable, it's definitely like been hit before or you've seen it before. So it's kind of rare that uh, you kind of see a part thoroughly filmed throughout LA. And being that's where I'm from, I'm pretty proud to have something that's like mainly LA based under my belt, you know?
Hmm. Now, before one more thing before we get into this, but do you a lot of these spots being in your home city, are these spots you might pass by in your daily life that sort of like you're looking at all the time, like, I gotta do
Well,
that thing.
maybe not. I wouldn't say as much because I live uh, I live by the beach, so I'd say majority of my skating is done inland, kind of like around the I don't know whatever
Hmm.
like actual Los Angeles area. Because I'm more of over in like the Venice area, so it's kind of like a little retreat back here at the end of the day, and
Yeah,
then we go back out to that side of town. That's when you're like kind of passing stuff. They go like, ah, shit, like probably gonna have to go and try that soon, like
right.
can't put it off forever.
Yeah,
And then yeah, but if I was living around there, I'd be going nuts because even knowing something is a few blocks away that you want to try, but you're still a little scared to try it, raises the hairs on the back of your neck.
yeah.
So
You wouldn't want to walk by it on your way somewhere else, maybe.
no, because sometimes you go to look at a spot and you look at it and it's like either like you start telling yourself good things or you start telling yourself bad things. And it's like, right, it's either one or the other for me. And sometimes I can look at a spot and be like, oh yeah, I could do this. And then come back and be like, oh shit, like I don't really know if I was what I was on that day. But
Mhm.
so yeah, I guess it's all depends on how you're feeling that day.
Right. All right. I'm gonna try to share my screen with you and show you these things.
Okay.
So you see that?
Yeah, I can see.
So that's what I wanted to start with because this immediately took my mind somewhere. So I don't know. You tell me about this moment skating in schoolyards and if this reminds you of something or if, at the time or afterwards, if this is familiar.
Um,
Because I've seen this done once before and I wondered if that was on your mind at all.
it was didn't Dill do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. In that moment in time, Dill was the last thing on my mind. That table flip was just that's what had to be done. But I guess that's kind of cool. I paid an homage to Dill without even really knowing. I was just so angry, and that thing was taunting me, so it had to be flipped. But yeah, I don't know. I was just like I had been going there for so many different weekends and kind of trying a trick that I don't normally wouldn't even really do. Uh, I was trying to do like a fakie inward heel, fakie manual on the table.
Hmm.
This is something that like I'm not really like. I think we were so adamant to try to get it is because Greg was like, dude, you should really try to get that because no one will expect you to do that. So I think I was just kind of swimming in waters that I wasn't really accustomed to.
Right.
And just after going there over and over and over, just to try something that probably like most other technical manual skateboarders probably could do, but I
Hmm.
was just having such a hard time with it because that's not what I do.
Yeah.
I was just like, dude, what the fuck am I doing? This isn't what I'm like, what I know how to do. Like, so it was just, I think, a little bit more frustrating than other tricks because I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Are the schoolyards a spot where you would just go, hey, let's just go skate and see what happens, or is it like
Uh, I
skate from the
love
table?
I love skating schoolyards. Mainly more table. I love skating tables. So anytime I can think of a trick to film on a table, I try to go and do it. Just because it's such a timeless part of skateboarding that's so cool that's never really changed the way it looks. Those tables have been the same tables since the 90s,
Hmm.
probably before that, but you can go back on footage as longer than I've been skating and you can see someone skate that same obstacle.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like an obstacle in skateboarding where it's not like a spot, it's an obstacle. So it's like anyone can come from anywhere and try to like bring to the table, no pun intended, what they can do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like skating tables and I think schoolyard lines look amazing, and so I'll probably flip a couple more in my day here to come.
Next up, what I
Oh,
call the bump over many bars.
yeah,
Tell me about this.
a lot of bars right there. That grab especially makes it just look like chaos. But yeah, um, what happened? Something. Oh yeah, we actually got a little crazy with this spot. So we found that spot and we were skating it, and we weren't getting kicked out, but it was a parking lot, and the business, like right where you land, is two parking spaces. And we kept going there and kept going there, and there was just always a car right there, uh, and we just couldn't find a time to skate it. I think we went on a weekend and the car was still there. So what we ended up doing is we went to Home Depot and got some like construction cones and caution tape and temporary no parking signs, and like filled in even like the dates of like when we were going to go skate there. And we went there real late at night and there was no cars there, and we like taped off those two parking spaces and made it look like there was some construction that was going to happen there. And then we just came back the next morning and like took them away and skated it.
Amazing.
So yeah, we fooled them.
Is this in LA?
No, actually, this is one of the. Okay, so we did another trip. I can't remember if this was the end of last year or right at the beginning of this year, but we went to Ohio,
Okay.
uh, and so yeah, this spot is in Ohio. I think we did two trips for this video: Portugal and Ohio.
Mhm.
So this was one of the trips that we made.
So did you see, because I think Justin Crook popovers on this, I think, is that right?
Yeah, he did.
So did you go to this spot looking at it as a grind, or right away was it like I'm gonna dump this whole thing?
No, not really. I was pretty scared to try to ollie that thing, honestly, because uh, I really couldn't push as fast as I felt comfortable to be able to clear that. And I think like even if you look at the ollie, like I don't really clear it by that much. Like, and I was pushing as hard as I could to try to make it over that thing. Um, so I didn't really think it was possible at first. I just wanted to try it without obviously impaling myself on that last rail.
Hmm.
So I think I tried a couple and I made it over. I think I even had to do like the like high jump maneuver sometimes when someone like they like throw their legs over and then like so yeah, it was pretty sketchy. But Justin Henry, he's obviously you know Ohio boy, so he had been wanting to skate this thing, and uh, we went there for him to skate it, and then I was like, oh man, this ollie would be sick. And then I think we first went there at nighttime, and it started to get dark. That's when he did the crook pop over, and I was like, dude, I'm not gonna try this in the dark. Like I can't push across the street in a parking lot and then like avoid this crack in this like little hole that you had to like
Yeah,
scoot around.
quite a wiggle to get in there, eh?
Yeah, so I was like, this, yeah, no, we're gonna need some daylight for this one. So we had to go back, and that's oh yeah, we went there at night because of the cars, I think,
Right,
just Justin. So
right. All right, moving on. Back to the tables.
well, the table.
What's the process of an impossible nose wheelie and two tables versus one? Tell me about it.
Patience, patience, a lot of time. You're gonna have to set aside like a full day and a lot of water. Hopefully it's not too hot because that shit took all day. Like like I said again, I don't really do manual, but I kind of had an idea to do this one, and yeah, I think I was like just one of those things where you kind of start getting close, and then it starts to get farther away, and then you get close again, and then you know, I guess I'm just not the best manual, so I just had trouble like holding the manual the whole way through, and then I think my friend Tyshawn was there, and he was like so bored because I was like trying the manual for so long. I think he ended up like taking a nap that day, and he was like fully like sleeping in the schoolyard over there because I was just like so boring to watch try this manual over and over. And then like I think he woke up, and I was maybe had like rolling away, and I was like skating up to him like and he was like, you did it. And I was like, yeah. So that was pretty funny. That was a good moment that day.
I want to interject here and ask if do you like to skate the same setup of board, or do you alter it all based on the spot?
No, I skate the same. uh, I mean, maybe not that this video part's over, I'll give myself a little, you know, give myself a little bit more wheel to work with because 53s like kind of, I guess, the all around ready for anything size, you know.
Hmm.
Um, so I was kind of messing with that, but now that this is over, I might maybe bump it up 54 or 55. But no, yeah, I like skating the same board, uh, same size, same shape, same wheels. So
What do you skate at 8 1/4
I
or
skated 825, yeah. I used to skate like I've been going down and down and down and down since like pretty much I turned pro. I think I turned pro with an 8.5, went down to 8.38, and then now I'm at 8.25. But I'm not going any lower than that. I'm gonna
right?
stay
Now,
there.
now you skate the. It seems like you like to get out at the bowl on the beach on a big
Yeah.
old a dog town maybe.
Yeah, I do really enjoy skating like shaped boards. More so for transition.
Hmm.
Uh, there's just such a better feeling about skating like an old 80s shape in a bowl than it would be like skating on your normal board, and it just kind of makes it more fun or more interesting. uh, I think they make your backside airs better.
More soup.
Not proven, but I think for me personally, some 80s homage kind of just adds a little bit more flair on your backside air.
Right. And on the gear note, what makes you decide on I'm gonna wear authentics or I'm gonna wear you're gonna wear your own shoe? Is that a spot
Like
or something?
no, honestly, it was a little bit hard for me to get used to my shoe, just because I had been skating like authentics and old schools for so long that I mean it had been like almost 10 years I've been skating authentics and old schools only. So my shoe has a little bit more forgiveness than an authentic or an old school. And it's just crazy how much you can notice like a little bit of a difference in like thickness in your shoe or whatever. So I don't know. I was just like trying to get used to the shoe, but trying to film a video part. So trying to like just kind of use what I was comfortable with. And then, yeah, I just like clicked with my shoe, and I was like, now I like can't skate any other shoe than my shoe. And like an old school feels like a piece of paper, you know, but, um, just because I have a shoe doesn't mean I don't appreciate other Van shoes, you know? So, uh, I know a lot of the guys like exclusively skate their shoe because they feel like they're gonna like gonna get in trouble or it's gonna be bad to wear. Like, but you know, it's like it's good to throw on an old school sometimes or throw on some authentics because I mean that's what makes Vans Vans. So you know, can't forget that part.
Good call. All right, moving on.
Wow.
I had to look at this one again because I couldn't. When you first see it, you don't realize as you jam up the first rail that the
Well,
sign
yeah,
is that close.
it's kind of a yeah, it's kind of what's it called? The mirage, I guess. It's like
Yeah, yeah, is an optical illusion from.
yeah, optical illusion for sure.
How'd this
I can
start?
tell, but there's a crease in the sign right there.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
so the only way to even remotely make it past that thing is I had to bend that, but
Hmm.
it's still just like coming out so much to where you're like, I literally had to do like a little like, it was like so weird. Like when you're grinding something, you're not thinking about like altering your body to like avoid something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, dude, I cannot tell you how many times I grinded up both of these things and just like ran straight into that sign and fell off. It must have happened like at least 50 times. Like I would sometimes grind up, and then like hug the sign and just be like standing in 50, like holding a sign, like you fucking sign. Like I was so mad at the sign and it was so taunting. And I was like, dude, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to make this like look good without grabbing the sign or touching the sign. And then just randomly one worked, and I don't know what happened. It like obviously rubbed it, like brushed my shirt, and I'm gonna call. Yeah, it obviously like brushed up on my shirt. I think the screen grab went away.
Oh. Hmm. We'll restart it here. Share screen.
There we go.
Not back? Okay.
Yeah, so one of them just worked and somehow like got past that thing and made it off to the other side. But it's also pretty scary because on the right side of this rail is like probably like a 15 or 20-foot drop. So I like didn't want to lean into the sign, and I didn't want to lean too far to
Hmm.
the other side because I just didn't want to jump down that.
This is in Portugal?
This is in Portugal, yeah. Or no, this is in. Okay, so this was the end of last year. This was a trip to. I think this trip might have even been before the video was even a
Okay.
kind of a thing. This was around. When was this? Oh, you know what? This trip was after. So right when I got my shoe, or right when you get a shoe, the Vans has like a global meeting kind of deal thing,
Hmm.
and so all of the accounts from all over the world go to like one resort or hotel, and they just do meetings and stuff like that. So I got to go because I had to kind of go up and explain what my shoe was in front of all these people, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, let's just make a trip out of it," because it was in Spain. So I was I was at Street League, which was crazy, and then we flew to Spain for the whatever the
Yeah.
conference, and then we went on a skate trip after. So it was kind of chaos. It was weird.
Yeah, wild circumstances.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow, this one was really tough, man. I don't know. It's just like one of those ones that obviously this isn't my ender, and it's like kind of just in the middle of the part. But I'd say this was the hardest trick in the video to film, or at least one that I went back the most for. And I don't know why, because I'm like usually pretty consistent with impossibles,
Yeah.
and but there was just something about this impossible. I think it's because like you just have to go so slow to get over that rail,
Hmm.
and then the drops down so fast. So and it's pretty tall, so you just have to like scoop it and then kind of like free fall with it, and then until you catch the bank. And I don't know if I just got into the habit of bailing it so much, but yeah, I don't know what this spot what bone it had to pick with me, but it did not let me walk away easy.
So this was a lot of trips back.
Yeah, I'd say maybe like 8 trips.
Wow.
And it was ridiculous because I was like, dude, I know I could do this. I'm not like scared to try it, or I'm not like, this isn't very technical, you know? So I was just like, I don't know what the deal was. And
And is this one that we see? Like, did you land it multiple times, or is this the one and the only?
there was no multiple times. This was the one.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a good land. There's a nice little carve on the side of
I
it.
was like, I just remember rolling off the curb and just being like, I'm not even like happy right now. I'm just like so mad that it took so long. And like now I'm rolling off the curb and it felt so easy. It was like bittersweet.
And then you get to skate on. It looks like to cross Victor Street.
Yeah, that's funny. Greg actually just the other day, when right before the video came out, he like sent me a screen grab of that, and he was like, "Dude, look at the street sign. How cool is that?" And I was like, had never noticed that before, so I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
And then yeah, it's like kind of both times I've skated that spot, I've for the impossible, and then the 50-50, which was just 2 trips back, but obviously a lot more scary than the impossible. And I had
We got that at the end too.
okay, so we'll get into that at the end.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't leave that. We got a. This strikes me as a spot that probably I'm assuming is like probably one of the most iconic spots to a skateboarder growing up where you grew up.
Probably. I mean, there was like some up and downs with this spot. Like it was unskateable for a while because they put the pole at the bottom. Well, originally, even when it was like in its prime of being skated, the landing was like pretty shitty. You know, like if you remember most tricks that got done, people either roll into the dirt and fall off, or they
Mhm.
get lucky and they make it to the concrete and they get to roll away.
Yeah,
Which me personally, like, there's nothing worse than skating a spot that you don't get to enjoy the roll away.
hmm
Usually, when I land a trick, kind of just unintentionally, I just start pushing like I'm like going somewhere else, you know.
yeah. I noticed
But
that.
that's just like the best feeling of like landing something is rolling away. So it kind of sucks when you end up skating something that you don't get to enjoy that. But yeah. So and then there was unskateable for a while, and then they put this big yellow pole at the bottom, and then for some reason they just decided to rip out the whole concrete landing and make it just flawless concrete, and they never put the pole back.
Hmm.
So I remember just being like, oh yeah, the UCI hub is skatable again, and they made it way better. And that just never happens, you know? And then I always had it, like, always was like, dude, impossible grind would be so cool on that spot. It's just like, I think that's a cool trick, and I think that's a like iconic spot. And I was just really happy to be able to like have the opportunity to try that trick and skate that spot. And yeah, it was good. I had to put a lot of work into that one too, just because that spot is kind of like the spot where you have about 20 minutes to skate it. If that, sometimes it's less. You have about 20 minutes. So usually around the time that you're starting to get pretty close to your trick is the time that you start to get kicked out. So I think I might have gone there like 3 or 4 times. And right when I started like grinding them off the end, or maybe even stomping a couple of them, we would get kicked out. And then I remember this day was Super Bowl Sunday, because you know in America that's like Christmas. Like no one's going to work on Super Bowl Sunday, so we went and tried it then, and it was a ghost town, and we got to skate it as long as we wanted.
Nice.
So yeah.
Any Heath Kirchart sightings in the bushes?
You know what, man? Funny you say that. Is we actually one day we went down there. I went down there with a Tiba to shoot it, and he was shooting the sequence, and whatever, we got kicked out. We didn't make it. And then when we were on our way home, we were driving through Long Beach, and he was like, dude, this is so random and so funny, but Heath just texted me, and because I think he had been living in Oregon. So I don't really know what the situation was, but he was like, dude, Heath just texted me. And I was like, no way. We were just like at his like Mecca. And he was like, yeah, he's like at Black Long Beach. Like, should we go have a beer with him? And I was like, yeah, for sure. Because I've actually known Heath for a really long time. Right when I even started to kind of come around and be sponsored, I guess we just like were acquainted right off the bat. And then, so I hadn't seen him in a while. And then, yeah, there was not much talk of skating UCI. But it was just funny that we skated that spot and then went and had a burger and a beer with him after.
Yeah, it was something tingling for him there.
Mm-hmm. I did tell him that the hub was skatable again, and that they made it perfect, and the rollaway is good. And I saw a little smirk kind of appear.
Rad.
Yeah.
Next we got this.
Yeah, this is probably one of the better feeling tricks I rolled away from throughout this part, just because that bank is so satisfying to roll down after you land your trick. But yeah, that one was I actually got a ticket at this school one time when I was like maybe like 5 years ago. So I was like, oh man, yeah, that spot's a bust, but it would be really sick to do back 360 over it. And then I think we had seen someone had gone there and skated it, and yeah, we went, and it was under construction, and it looked like they were starting to rip out the ground. So I don't know what it looks like now, but I think we might have, unless they just put the ground back how it was, I think we might have been maybe the last to
Nice.
be able to get something over that thing.
Was this just how they were working on this day? Like your back foot kind of ended up in the middle?
I don't know, man. I think I was just taking whatever I could get over that thing, because I was like kind of in a rush, because I didn't know like if cops were coming or if we're gonna get kicked out, and I was getting close. So I was just sticking whatever was under my feet.
Because it sounded like this one got a little bonk off the rail too, a little nose
Yeah,
touch.
you can see it right there. It looks like it's like tapping right there, but that sometimes that's just what you need to get the board to your feet, you know?
Hey, whatever it takes.
Yeah. I was definitely not trying to do another one, that's for sure.
All right. I wondered if this was maybe one of the older clips in the park.
No, actually, this is more recent.
Okay.
Uh,
And
but
it looked like a battle based on your appearance.
yeah, it definitely was. I had fully given up, but I was still trying it. It was almost dark, so I was like, okay, I guess I'll just try it till it gets dark. I was already like taking the loss on it. Like I just was like, all right, dude, like this sucks. Like, because that was the last spot of the trip. I was flying home the next day. So I was just like pretty bummed, you know, like leaving with it. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to try this again. Like that sucks. And then yeah, I just kept trying it, even though I like was so tired and just dead. And then I don't know what happened, but yeah, I rolled away from that one, and it was like felt so easy to try. And I was just so relieved that it was just over. Uh,
You looked pretty bloodied up, your hands duct taped up.
yeah, there's a lot of blood on my pants too. I don't know if you can tell in the
I
video,
saw
but
that, yeah.
on my like right knee, uh, I got a cut on my knee, and it was fully just bleeding through my pants, and you could see it because they were light colored pants.
Hmm.
And then yeah, my hands duct taped because I have a hole in my hand, and shirt's filthy. So you could tell that that one wasn't a walk in the park for me, for sure. It
Is,
was.
is, is this one a completely different time from the clip before, the back 780 nose grind revert?
Yeah, I've been there 3 times, and each time is funny. I was like, oh, I guess it's not funny, but each time afterwards, I went home and I peed blood and threw up
Oh,
every time. And I was like, the first time I was like, for this trick, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I skated this thing for 3 hours, jumping down that for 3 hours. So I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty gnarly. And then the second time I went was for the back 180 nose grind 180, and I tried it for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and then I rolled my ankle. And then I went back to the hotel, and same thing again. I was like, damn, what is up with this rail, dude? Like, I don't know if it's just like the impact over and over. And then the third time when I went back for the back 180 nose grind 180, it took kind of a while again. It took about an hour and a half. Yeah, I went home and same deal. I was like, all right, this rail is not good for my health. Like maybe I should hang up the towel for this rail for the spot. But hey, I'll probably usually with spots that I really like, I find a way to think of another trick to try on that spot. So
okay, you're not ruling this one out then.
no, not yet.
All right, I got two more for you.
All right, there it is.
Back we go to this spot.
Yeah.
Tell me, I'll ask you a couple things. You tell me about it, but I wondered how long after, I'm assuming this happened after the impossible.
Oh, this is well after the impossible. But I had been thinking about grinding this.
That's another question.
I wouldn't even say I was thinking about grinding it. I was just thinking about somebody grinding it uh, for a long time. I've always wondered if it was possible, or I just wanted to know if it was possible. And I was wondering like who was going to do it. But I think deep down I really knew that I wanted to do it. And then when the video started to come around, I was like, dude, I'm gonna go look at that grind and just look at it. I didn't even have my skateboard. I was by myself just to like get eyes on it because I hadn't really ever truly looked at the grind with intentions of me trying it. So
Hmm.
I had gone there, and something happened just like right when I looked at it. I saw the angle that I wanted to go about it, and I was like, dude, I could grind this thing. Like, this is possible. And then we had gone there, and I had started jumping on grinds and like kind of hopping over, but still felt that feeling of the possibility of making it to the bottom. And then I think on one, I like accidentally leaned in really far, and I made it to like the last down part
Mm-hmm.
and jumped off like down the stairs. And I was like, oh fuck, it is possible. And like started to realize like, oh man, like leaning in that way, like it was fine, like jumping on grinds and jumping over and running down the sidewalk. But it's hard to tell in this angle, but that rail right about the middle, there's a kink in it
Mm-hmm.
that like probably goes, can you see me right now?
Yep, yep.
Okay. It's probably like, it's a pretty harsh angle.
Yeah.
So that was the whole deal. Like once you make it to that, you have to lean this way. And it's just like such a scary point in time to like trust yourself to lean that way.
Right.
And the grind was so fast. It didn't, I mean, in the footage, it didn't look as fast as I felt like I was grinding.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I don't know if I could take this curve going that fast. Like,
Right.
and then, so the first time we went, I tried it forever, and I was like, got pretty close. In the video, they play the clip of me grinding down and then alling out. That was the first time we went. And
Did you want to come out earlier like that?
no, I wanted to make it to the bottom. I just like, I was like just trying to roll away from anything I could.
Mm-hmm.
And so like a few tries after that, I ended up sacking the rail, probably the worst sack I've ever had, right in the middle at the tallest point. So both my feet did not hit the ground.
Whoa.
And it was so painful that I just like couldn't try it anymore. I really couldn't. And I was actually having trouble like walking. It was so painful.
Ugh.
And then so we went, that was a Thursday, and then we went back the next Thursday, and yeah, it was there was a lot going on in my mind. I wasn't feeling as confident. I wasn't like, I didn't really see that vision of the possibility that day anymore. And a friend of mine had just passed away like a couple days before that, so I just was so like mentally like not ready for that spot. But I knew like the only way to kind of get over what I was going through was to go and do that and like not let it affect my like normally what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just remember one try alling up to it and leaning in and starting to get towards the bottom, and then all of a sudden I'm like off the kink and rolling away, and dude, I must have rolled away for like 3 blocks, just like trying to process like what just happened. Like,
Yes.
did not really understand it until I was like walking back up the hill, and I was like, oh my god, dude, I don't have to go back up there. Holy shit. Like, and yeah, Burn Dog was there, which is always cool to get something like gnarly with Burn Dog, because I mean he shoots the gnarliest stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was cool. It was cool. It was a good day. And then funny thing is after that day I was like feeling sparky still, and I think I was just like riding so high off of that. And then it didn't take that many tries, and I didn't really slam that many times that day. So we went to that rail that I did the nollie flip backside grind right after that.
Oh, okay. Same day.
I did that right after this trick. And then we went and had beers at the park.
Wow. And so did you have the nollie flip 50-50 in mind already? And we're like, hey, I'm feeling good. Let's go do it.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, I just knew I had just learned that trick, and for me, it's few and far between of learning tricks. So I was like, dude, I want to do this. Like, I just learned this trick, and I want to do it on a little rail, and that rail was like right in that zone, and we went and did it, and it worked out, and I was like, all right, sick, good day.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Enders.
Yeah.
How does this get in your head? Like, how do you get to the point where this can be a reality?
Uh, this was another one of those things that I always was like, dude, could you imagine if like nose grind nollie flip? Like, I would always be like, dude, could you imagine nose grind nollie flip on that? Like, I don't know if it's possible, but maybe. And then kind of after that grind, I was like started to, because I didn't know if that was possible. So I was like, okay, I did the grind. If I think this might be possible, then might as well go and try it. And then I think I went 3 times for this. And the first time I went with knowing that, I was like, I wonder if it's possible. I don't even know if I can flip out going like that fast or after getting onto that thing. And then we went, and I think I was like nose grinding it, trying to figure out the right speed to be going. And then I flipped one out, and I was like, oh my God, it's possible. Like, almost like, fuck, now I got myself into it. And then the first time wasn't really getting that close. I like stuck it a couple times, but wasn't getting close. And then the next time we went, I just wasn't in the right headspace. I was like not motivated. Maybe I was tired that day. I don't know, but I just wasn't like getting close. I wasn't flipping any out. So I was just like, dude, today's not the day. We got to come back. And then this day that we came back, they were working pretty good at the skate park, because had been going to the skate park, and I was trying them on this one obstacle at the skate park. And then I like started trying it for a while, and was kind of just slamming and not really like getting close, and like getting into like lip slides, and it was just all kind of bad. And then I don't know what happened, but I just like, and I was like really tripped out on like people walking down the sidewalk, and just like all these little things were bothering me. And then I don't know what happened, but I just like went into this like fight mode, and like after being tired, like I was pretty much ready to give up, and I started just like running back to the run up. I would throw down even if someone was in my way, and like go around them, and like have a bad thought in my head rolling up, and be like, shut the fuck up. Like, you're going to try it anyways. Like pretty much like you're being a bitch. Like you're just tripping yourself out. And then I like just started sticking them, and I was like sticking them with 2 feet and doing like the tuck and roll. And then like, I was like, dude, I'm not leaving without this. And then, ended up, again, I felt like I was going way faster in the like personally than how the clip goes by, because I just remember sticking it, rolling away, and like off the curb into the street like that. And then I just like started pushing as fast as I could. Just started pushing as fast as I could, yeah. And I think I was just like processing like what had just happened, and I was just pushing away and kind of enjoying the victory ride a little bit, you know.
Hell yeah. Was this?
And then we went straight to the store across the street, and we got a couple beers and celebrated on the steps. Had a couple beers on the steps.
That's gotta feel good.
It does, man. It does.
Nice. Well, that's the Enders.
Cool.
What's next? Do you chill for a bit, or are you moving on to something else?
Well, I kind of wrote myself into this thing that's going to be coming out on December 4th. So got another little project coming out December 4th that isn't quite as big as production of FA, but it's just something that I've been working on. Or I mean, as Vans, but so it's for FA.
Yeah, you gave that away.
Yeah. So yeah, we got a little something coming out on December 4th, and then so I'm just gonna be filming for that up until pretty much up until it comes out.
Wow. Okay. Right. And it's coming out then. So you're
Yeah, it's coming out. It'll be on Thrasher December 4th. There's the giveaway right there.
all right. All right. Anything in the future with Vans? Is there talk of
Um,
another
I don't
shoe
know,
or
man. I
updates
think
on this shoe?
I would love to have another shoe. Yeah, I mean, that's like one of the funnest processes to go through. Fun and frustrating, but yeah, something. I don't know. We'll see. Definitely want to keep it going and keep putting stuff out, and hopefully work on another project with them in the future.
It's like the boss says, man. You're in your window, right? So
Yeah, I know. I'm not. I feel like it's like a little bit of like when a video part's almost over, you're like, oh my god, like I can't wait for this to be over. Like done. I can't do this anymore. And then like I thought it was gonna happen like at least a little bit after this Vans one, but now the Vans one just came out a few days ago. I'm already like, shit, man. Like, what am I doing? But I still got this FA thing to film for. So I'm sure when that's over, I'll really be like, not know what I'm doing.
right.
But
I
so
think you'll keep busy.
yeah, trying to.
All right, man. Thank you for your time.
Yeah,
It
no
was,
problem.
it was great to talk to you.
Well, I liked that was cool bringing up the screen grabs and going over those moments, because there's so many little moments that happen throughout the day of trying something. It's fun to be able to go over them, you know?
Oh yeah, it's fun to hear about it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, man.
Congratulations again. Thank you.
Of course. Yeah. It's a pleasure talking to you.
Okay. Bye.
Take it easy.